Hey,
She came with that fire.
you know how we do.
She came with that fire. Oh my gosh. Oh my goodness. Great day to you. Great day to you, Victoria.
Great day to you, Jerome. Always a pleasure.
Always, always. And thank you for starting the day with us, you know?
Oh yeah, yeah, and your follow along qigong.
Yeah, yeah,
That
yeah, the
was,
follow.
oh my gosh, so beautiful, so needed. You know, Jerome, you're you're the only. I love qigong. I like to do guided practices on YouTube, different teachers and stuff. You're the only guy that just be cracking jokes the whole way through.
I'm not the only one. I be getting that energy from Sunrise. Sunrise be doing that on the
Okay,
trap sheet. So with
okay.
Sunrise and trap sheet, he got me into the goofy mode, to be silly, be goofy, just embrace it.
Oh my gosh, that's like best practice, cause it builds that imprint of like, oh, this is fun.
Right, right. You know about that, That's it's like why so serious?
Wow,
Yeah,
that's so serious.
yeah, yeah. So I'm glad that you received that energy. I'm glad that you enjoyed the silliness, that you are you laughing over there on the other side? You like cracking up? Yeah.
Yeah, yeah, I enjoyed the silliness.
Okay. Okay. Because sometimes the jokes they just be coming,
Hmm.
It'd be like if something comes to my mind and you ever had the impulse or the urge like, should I say it? Should I not say it? Should I say this? And you just go ahead and say it anyway. And, and you start cracking yourself up.
Oh
Yeah.
yeah, oh yeah. Even if you don't say it, sometimes the mind is just such a like a comedian.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Hmm. I agree. I agree. So yeah, being able to someone said to me, they said, when you can laugh at yourself, you'll never run out of things to laugh at, you know? And it's true,
Yeah,
because you can be your own best company that way, you know? Yeah,
yeah,
yeah.
yeah. Your own best friend.
For real, for real, for real. Yeah.
I have to
Oh,
like,
is that puppy?
yeah, it is.
Oh, the grand entrance. Puppy said, hold on now. Puppy said, let me get some. Puppy the cat. Yo, the cat down the road, like Ralph Smart say. Puppy
Yeah.
the she had to make the grand entrance. She had to say
Of
hi to us. Yeah,
course, of course.
yeah.
She's I'm her slave. She just tells me what to do and I do it.
You're her slave.
Yes.
Oh wow.
Yeah.
You do her bidding.
One time, someone told me this, and it feels really true. They said a dog is like having a child, and a cat is like having a roommate.
Hmm. Okay, so y'all are sharing the space together.
Yeah.
Okay. Or well, if you're her slave, she owns the space, so she's your master. What she what's something she be telling you to do?
She she'd be like, fill my fucking food bowl. Open the door. Open the door. Open the door. Let me out. Let me in.
I remember she would stay right by the door and she would just like she would do that sound like over and over again until you came. Yeah, yeah.
She has specific meows for like different demands, and so she's like conditioned me to know
Mhm.
what she needs based on how she meows.
Okay, Pavlov. She hit you with that Pavlov technique.
Yeah. Yeah.
Wow. So she knows if I hit her with this meow, she gonna scratch my back. But if I hit her with this meow, she gonna yeah, yeah, yeah. She gonna fill my bowl. Okay.
Yep.
That's
Yep.
a
We got
smart cat.
we got people in the comments confirming. Yep. Yep.
They, they know what's up.
Yeah.
Mhm. Yeah, puppy the only cat that I've seen with like superhuman, you know, the way that she was able to just acquire target, target locked, approaching target, and then boom, you know, like she has that focus, and then boom, boom, she knows what she wants and she knows how to get it.
She's a sniper.
Yeah, 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 yeah. Yeah.
For sure. Yeah. Yeah, she's like my meditation companion too. Anytime I start meditating, I feel like she can just feel it and she'll curl up in my lap. She loves to.
Mm, mm. Wow, wow. So the, you know, it's like the perfect companion, you know? Yeah. For times when you're just curling up. Like I remember you said something about your creative process when it comes to creating. And it was something along the lines of like breath, pajama pants, and comfy sweatshirt. Yeah, yeah, yeah. And comfy sweatshirt. But I guess
Yeah,
we gotta put puppy in there too. You
for
know?
sure. For sure. She likes to sit on my lap sometimes whenever I paint. I feel like she knows anytime my energy is like she just jumped on the table right next to this phone. Hopefully she doesn't move it. Oh my bless.
Would you paint?
Yeah,
Mm-hmm.
I feel like she can sense whenever my energy is feeling like really focused and good, because she'll always want to like be a part of it. She wants to like either sit in my lap or she'll start meowing at me. Like she wants that attention and like that flow of good energy.
Okay. So even becoming a part of the painting, like you would say that she's a part of your creative process.
Yeah, yeah. She agrees. She's like, yeah, give me credit, girl.
Oh man. Beautiful. Beautiful. Okay. Okay.
I think she just came in to get some food, so hopefully she doesn't
Okay.
interrupt us again.
It's all good. It's all good. Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, so you just got back from a 10-day meditation retreat. For my followers popping in that maybe haven't been privy to your experiences and some of the deep dives you just did.
Mm-hmm. For sure. It was Vipassana. It was on a place called the Intermountain Vipassana Retreat in Lava Hot Springs, Idaho. We were out there for 11 days. The actual meditation sit was 10 days, and it was all silent. It was something I had never done before. So it was very transformational, very eye-opening, I would say. Yeah.
Very eye-opening. In what ways?
You know, there was eye-opening for my imagination, eye-opening for those inner conversations that we don't really take the time, or make the time, I should say make the time. Because like yourself, you know, I definitely find times when I'm alone to recharge my batteries. And one of the things that I enjoy about you, Victoria, is out of all my friends, you seem to be one of the only people that, you know, in a society where we're just doing, going, you make the time to do nothing. You know, it's like you intentionally make the time to do absolutely nothing. And I respect that. I admire that, you know. So
Takes one to know
yeah.
one.
So that's what we did. We were there for 10 whole days, and we just sat. Now it may seem like we were doing nothing, but we were doing a lot. A lot was going on.
Yeah, yeah. Why do you think it is so hard sometimes to do nothing?
Mhm. I feel like a part of it is being in the ritual or being in the rhythm of not relaxing, you know, not taking the time to be aligned with yourself in a way that you can just be in stillness, to be in silence, to be in that solidarity of your own solitude. It's not that common for people who are accustomed to always going, you know, to always doing something. And it's not to say that we can't be going or can't be growing, or can't be flowing in that way. But there are definitely times when, you know, it's okay to just sit it down. You know, it'll be around. Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. It's true. It's true. I agree that there's a lot of conditioning of like go, 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 do, be productive, do something.
And it's almost even it's almost even the feeling of like, oh, you're not enough if you're not doing something, you know, if you're not being productive, then you're not,
Right.
you know?
Right. Yeah, I agree. And I think acting from that space of like not enoughness kind of perpetuates it. So I feel like one of the biggest, uh, I guess, benefits that I've gotten from a meditation practice that I never had heard about it. I didn't do it for this intention, but one of the gifts that it brings me is like a reminder of my worthiness. Like I can just sit here and do nothing and I'm absolutely deserving of love, celebration. Like I like sitting down, doing nothing and just relaxing is like a message to the body like you're worthy of relaxation, like of gentleness, of chill.
Yes, absolutely. Absolutely. You remind me, Victoria, you posted something. It was either today or yesterday, but you posted something and it was like love others without stopping to inquire whether or not they are worthy. You know? And that hit. Like, how did that resonate with you when you saw that?
Yeah, so I actually had found that in my archives from over a year ago, and the first time I had posted it, I had like edited it to say our job is to stop and love others and ourselves without inquiring whether or not they're worthy. It's like, I mean, that's real love. If you're having to fit them in a box or make them reach a certain requirement in order for you to extend love and like accept them, then that's not really love.
Right. Right.
That's and we don't do it on purpose. We do it because like we were conditioned. So it's like, oh my god, maybe she'll just go away if I ignore her. um, it's kind of funny. She started meowing right whenever I was gonna talk about this. So, so it's like we will, however, whatever expressions or versions of us were rejected as children. Let me just put her in. Whatever expressions of us were rejected as children, whether you're, come on, if parents were busy or they were just overwhelmed, you know, life is hard. If there was maybe a needy version or a very angry version or a version that just wanted attention, whatever it was, if they rejected that, then we learn to reject those versions of ourselves too and other people, because we don't know like what it would look like to embrace that expression. Like if you were shunned or rejected every time you were like crying or really like needy or anxious, then you won't know how to extend a warm embrace to someone that's expressing that, because it's foreign to you. You just don't know.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Wow. So it's almost like someone once told me, and perhaps you would agree, our parents are almost like training wheels for our relationships.
Absolutely. Yeah, as we become an adult, our romantic partner replaces them in the role of our life as like major attachment figure. The person that, you know, you go home to and you share your life with. They're like oh my. Oh shit. Please don't.
Is that a hairball?
That's my cat. I think.
Is that a hairball? What is that? No way. Hey, she doing the cat dog? She doing cat dog? No, she doing cat dog.
Okay, she's good.
Uh,
That embarrassed me.
wow, wow. Yeah.
What was I
That,
saying?
that took me back to my childhood. Oh
What you
man,
mean?
cat dog, alone in the world.
Oh, cat dog. I love cat.
Alone, alone in the world is the little cat dog.
Oh my.
The hairball, yo, that was wow. That's classic. You can't plan it. You know, it's like life.
It's like life.
Hmm. But you were saying,
Yeah, yeah. Like, I feel like our parents kind of imprint us with the good and the bad of what we will unconsciously see as like what feels like home, right? So, depending on our experience from childhood and the different things that were imprinted into us about the messages that we got about who we are, we'll look for other people that kind of validate that idea of who we think we are. Unless we do work and healing to change that idea of who we think we are. But I really do feel like the partners and the close friends we choose in our life is like the most important decision we'll ever make, because that's like the co-star to the movie of your life.
mhm. Wow. So when do you feel like was a turning point for you where you stopped looking for people to validate who you are?
Hmm. I mean, I wouldn't say I stopped. Not completely. It's an ongoing process. I still find myself here and there like I'll do something and then later on whenever I'm sitting in meditation or maybe just on a walk, I'll think back like, why did I do that? Or why did I say that? and and sometimes it is because like I wanted this person to think of me in a certain way, or I wanted to think a certain way about myself in connection with that person. But I do feel like a big key that kind of helped me to let go of this like burden of other people's perceptions is just spending more time with myself, like actually taking the time to get to know who I am and love myself. Because if you are really loving yourself and you can accept yourself even in the not so high expressions, then you won't have that, like if you give it to yourself you won't be looking outside like, will someone give this to me? I like the quote, if you go within you won't have to go without.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. That's the message. That's the message. And I definitely felt like that was the whole theme. You know, going back to when you were asking me about Vipassana,
Mm.
all of us, all like 30 of us that were there meditating with each other, we were all going within so that we wouldn't go without
Yeah.
for the rest of our lives, so that we had that as a tool to be able to do whenever we need it, you know, to remember.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's so powerful because that search for validation outside is never ending, because we can never find what we're looking for, because in my opinion what we're really looking for is our own unique quality of love. Like a lot of people in relationships, they can't find like harmony because they're both saying like, oh, I'm loving you so much, but they're not loving that person in the way that that person wants to be loved. They're projecting, they're loving that person in the way that they wish someone would have loved them.
Wow. That's deep. That's deep. So it's like we're misinterpreting or misunderstanding what somebody's definition of love is because we're projecting our own version.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Not only our own version, our feeling of lack of our own version.
Mm.
Like both of those.
Well, when you say that, what do you mean exactly? Projecting our feeling of lack of our own version.
Yeah, because whenever you aren't filling up your own cup first and you're projecting that, like, let's say, just for example, because this is actually true in my life, one of my biggest love languages is words of affirmation, and I love to read books and like read beautiful poetry. And whenever I was younger, I would always write love letters to like my friends, or like if I had a crush, like whatever, I would always write love letters. And like I remember feeling like unrequited love, like unsatisfied in relationships, even as I got older, where I would feel like they're just not loving me like in the correct way. Like I could see they're trying, but it's just not hitting home. And so I would kind of be projecting that, like they don't know like how to love me. I would be projecting that lack of like I don't feel loved. So I would try and like overcompensate by like loving them more, loving them harder to like fill the relationship space with more love. Or I would feel rejected and like pull back so that I don't have to feel those feelings because it would start to get icy. But yeah.
Wow. Wow. But whenever you would overcompensate, like pour in all that love, you know, how did that usually change things? Like, how did that impact?
Um, I mean, I would just feel more drained. I would just feel more drained because all that, and I would grow bitter. I would grow bitter because that inner child inside of me is like watching my adult version give all this love to someone else, and my inner child sitting there like, what about me?
Mm.
Like I'm here, like that's what I want, and you're giving it to someone else. Like all that fire, all that energy that I had, it was for myself. I just didn't know like how to do that. I didn't know how that worked.
Mm.
I
So
didn't
would
have any role models around me that were pouring into themselves like that. So it was just foreign to me. I didn't know.
you, Mhm. Wow. So would you say that was your inner child almost like jealous of all the love you were giving someone else?
I'm not sure if jealous is the word that resonates for me, but resentful.
Resentful.
Yeah.
Your inner
Yeah.
child.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah, and I mean, how many times do we hear like when people are fresh out of a breakup, they feel this resentment towards that person. I feel like a lot of it at its root is the inner child, because if you listen to someone venting about their relationship issues, like, oh, he doesn't do this, like blah blah blah, he can never like just take the time to blah blah blah. If you listen close, the same words that they're saying, it could be applied to their father, it could be applied to their mother.
Wow. Wow. So it's almost like we don't stop to even become aware of what's always been there, you know? Like the things that from our past that have continued to last, like we don't see. Yeah.
We're just going too fast.
Oh man, come on, girl. Oh man, he dunks it. The alley oop. You know, speaking of writing poetry, Victoria. You know, when I saw something, a beautiful spoken word, there was something on the stage. You was talking about the radio station tuned to the radio station called Equanimity. You know, Let's Dance.
Mm-hmm.
When you were coming out with that poem, with that poetry, that wasn't the first time you've done spoken word on a stage before, was it?
Oh my gosh, yes.
That was the
Yeah, before that, I had only spoken my poetry to one person, and thankfully, like, he was such a safe person, and he kind of encouraged me, like, yeah, girl, like, go on stage, you need to share that. So, like, thankfully, like, I had someone who was so, like, kind and inspiring to me, so that kind of gave me the confidence to share, because, yeah.
wow, wow. So, and what was your friend's name that encouraged you?
Eric Brown,
Eric.
EB.
Shout out to Eric Brown,
Yeah.
you know, going down.
Infinite gratitude to that man.
Wow. So Eric Brown, so his kindness was the catalyst that allowed you to express your creativity?
Yeah. Yeah, like you said, sometimes we need someone to believe in us before our belief for ourselves kicks in.
Hmm.
That,
Wow. You gotta,
that's really true. You taught me that.
I don't even remember when I said that. You got a memory on you. Your memory goes back. Yeah, it's in
Yeah.
there. So how did it feel going up on stage for the very first time?
Nervous. nervous, I felt like maybe like an 8 out of 10 nervous in my throat is where I felt it. And it was just like, but it was a good spot to do it at. You know, it was at an open mic. Highly recommend anyone on here that happens to be watching, if you can sing, if you can play an instrument, if you have anything to share, go to an open mic, because everyone was so like open and cool. It was like every person had a completely different vibe. You know, you had stand-up comedians, you had people just kind of like rambling and like venting on the mic for 3 minutes. You had your poets, you had your musicians, and yeah. So just watching everyone else go on first and noticing like everyone's nervous. Everyone's nervous. Like that kind of gave me like, okay, I can do this. And yeah, it felt good to share.
Yeah. 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 So being able to see the similarities is what freed up your throat chakra, because you said it was like an 8 out of 10 in your throat, you know?
I wouldn't say it freed it up. It just gave me the oomph to like go on stage with that. And then, you know, I just took a couple breaths and did my best.
I love it. And the rest, as they say, is history. You know,
Yeah.
that's the thing, because that's what they say. That is courage. You know, that is bravery. Without fear, there is no courage, you know?
One of my friends told me it's okay to have butterflies so long as they fly in harmony or something like that.
For sure. For sure. So those butterflies that were, you know, flying within you, you allowed them to be expressed between the crowd. You know, that reminds me as well, when we were in that butterfly garden, you know,
Ooh,
you remember
good,
that?
good memory.
And all those butterflies around, they were all in harmony, all of them,
Yeah.
you know? Yeah. It was effortless. They weren't trying. It didn't feel like one butterfly had judgment on the other butterfly, or another butterfly is like, oh, I'm not looking too good, you know? They
Yeah.
were all in their own being, and it was perfect.
Mhm.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's like how they're all like being in their own being. That's like self-confidence, being your own confidant.
Mm-hmm.
Like in those little moments, like how you talk to yourself whenever you're nervous or whenever you're like a little shaky, that's like the most important conversations you'll have with yourself. Just because, yeah, I mean, I could have easily psyched myself out, but I was just like, it's okay, girl. Like, you got this. Just do your thing. Like, it's all right.
Sure. And you went ahead with it, you know? Congratulations.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Thank you. How we guide ourselves through those moments of maybe like being embarrassed or being nervous is so crucial to developing self-esteem. Uh, Sometimes whenever I go to the roller rink, every now and then like another girl will like ask me like, "Yo, could you teach me like how to skate backwards?" And I'm like, "Of course." We'll like go to the side and I'll just show them like how I learned, and then I'll tell them like the most important thing, number one, bend your knees. Number two, number two is the way you talk to yourself whenever you fall. Don't make fun of yourself. Just tell yourself in your head like, "Oh, silly goddess, get back up. Like, what are you doing?" Like,
Yeah. Those are great pointers, you know, and you're a great teacher in that way, because I've seen you on the wall, Victoria. You know, I've seen you over there on the wall on the side and teaching people, showing them how to ride, you know, showing them how to do their thing on the rink. And I'm like, yo, look at her teaching. Like, look at her reaching. Like they say, each one teach one to reach one. You feel me? So if you're telling them like what to say when you talk to yourself is so important, because yeah, sure, you know, people might see you when you fall down, but they also see you when you get back up, you know? It's important.
yeah,
It's, yeah.
yeah, yeah. I think one time someone asked me, or maybe I read it somewhere, like, if the voice in your head was a person, would you be friends with them?
Mm, that's a good question. you know? Yeah. Because we all have a voice in our head to a certain degree, but is it saying, is it whispering sweet nothings, or is it like whispering words of like, you know,
Yeah.
is it your cheerleader or chastise, you know?
Yeah.
Interesting.
Yeah.
Yeah. They even say like Navy SEALs, you know, people in the military, they learn how to harness that voice within and have it work for the positive, you know, to flip any situation that they're in for the positive. To like, you can do it, keep going, you got it. You know, when they're going through Hell Week and they're going through training and they're going through all this grueling, like the stuff that would break, you know, break people, they have to have that voice on their side, you know? They can't be talking down to themselves from inside and then trying to do all this stuff on the outside at the same time. Yeah.
Yeah. So I remember you telling me during your Vipassana meditation, there were moments where you felt like it could have broken you, like it was kind of make or break.
Mm-hmm.
So what did you say to yourself in those moments? Like,
Great.
what was going through your head?
Great question. Great question. So what went through my head when I got out of bed, I would walk the hallway and I would say to myself, because it was all silent, we couldn't speak, you know, so it was all the rest, you know, the affirmations that I continued to repeat in my head. This was something that got me through a lot of the days, because I would walk up and down this long stretch over and over and over, walking back and forth. And this was something I actually learned from the monks, because when I was at Lake Elsinore in this big old property that the monks and nuns had from Myanmar, they had me over there, and I remember just watching this one monk, and his name was Goenji. I think his name was Goenji. And he would just walk in this little like compact room, back and forth, back and forth, back and forth. And I think he walked back and forth for like it felt like hours. So I'm sure he walked for miles in that little tiny room. So I was like, if he can do that in that little room, I can do that in this hallway, you know? So I made sure I had my step meter with me every day. So I
Yeah.
made sure at least 18,000 steps a day. So around like, you know, 7 or 8 miles or so. And I would just keep telling myself, you know, I love my life. All I need is within me now. All I need is within me now. And then I kept going, you know, affirmations. Of course, you had the breath affirmations, or the breath mantras. You know, you say to yourself like all sorts of positive things, like pranic affirmations. You know, things about like fasting, things about the longer I fast, the longer I last. The more I breathe, the less I need. You know, stuff like that. So it was really something that gave me a lot of confidence, as you say, you know, to keep going, especially during the colder times. Because I don't know about you, but that snow in Idaho, whew, that was something else, you know, that was something else, especially with no shoes. I'm in, you know, I'm in the snow, like, so the breath was alive. I had to keep the breath alive.
You were out,
for sure.
out there.
We were out there. So yeah, everybody was looking at me crazy. They were like, what are you doing out here? Like, who are you?
They couldn't talk to you, but their eyes said it, huh?
Mm-hmm. They're giving me looks. Yeah. Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Wow. Yeah, that's I love that. I love my life.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. I think I had my list. What was it, like 20 of them? Let me see if I can remember. Hold on. It was, I benefit by being breatharian. I'm a powerful pranic being. My inner light grows and it shows. I love feeling unburdened by food. I find it easy to live on prana. The more I breathe, the less I need. It feels so good to have more energy. Sleeping less feels natural to me. I can go days without eating food. Pranic living gets easier and easier for me. I am nourished by other sources. Prana provides all my nutritional needs. I am sustained directly from source. My health and my wealth are constantly increasing. The longer I fast, the longer I last. I choose to fast. I choose a life of longevity. I'm prepared to reap the many benefits of fasting. I'm happy with my decision to fast. I'm achieving the goals I set for myself by fasting. Fasting helps me feel more connected to my life. I am gaining greater clarity of mind and spirit through fasting. I am purging my body of toxins while fasting. I am proud of the progress I make each day while fasting. Fasting helps me feel better. Fasting makes me a better version of myself. I am realizing the true beauty of my body. By fasting, I'm promoting positive changes in my life. Through fasting, I'm breaking barriers that limit my potential. Fasting builds my character. With fasting, I'm at my healthiest. Today, I will complete another fast. And so I would say that over and over again until it was like muscle memory. And then my steps became like affirmations. Every step I took, it was like ingrained in my nervous system and it kicked in autopilot. So especially since at the center, there was not supposed to be any fasting. Like it literally said that in the guidelines that this is strictly prohibited. You cannot fast. You must eat. So I had to do a lot of tricks, a lot of things to dodge, to make it through without eating. Because Sunrise, if he were to start fasting, it would have been detrimental for him. But if I were to stop fasting, it would have been detrimental for me because we both already had the lifestyle, and they're not going to understand. I'm telling these people that, oh, they, if they're asking me like, okay, do you have something against food, or you something, so is something, do you have any religious practices we should know about? Is there anything, so I didn't even want to have that conversation. So yeah.
Oh my gosh. Powerful, powerful. You just dropped so many gems. It kind of made me think like, because you used to be in performance arts, right? Acting and learning roles and performing. So it's kind of like at your core, you've learned the lines of the life of your dreams. And it's like you're just repeating it to yourself and affirming that, like in a space of deep silence, imprinting it into every cell of your body. That's so powerful.
Right. Yeah.
Powerful.
And yeah, and the body gets the memo. After a while, the body gets the memo. It gets the message. It knows what you want to do. It understands like, okay, this is the direction we're heading in. Okay, this is so yeah, magnificent things can happen when you continue to magnify with affirmations. I believe it. Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah. Thank you for that question. No one's asked me yet, so thank you.
Yeah. Thank you for being open to share. That was, you inspired that one.
Awesome.
Yeah.
We got a lot of love in here, Victoria. Like people are really showing up.
Yeah.
Been reading comments. I haven't read anything, but learn the lines to the love of your dreams. Oh, beautiful. Blessings.
Yes. Yeah, that's what affirmation is. It's like learning the lines of what's actually, it's more like remembering what's true for you. Because, whenever I first learned about affirmations and like saying them in the mirror, I am beautiful, I am successful, I am wealthy, I would say these things and I would feel like I'm lying to myself. But the truth is that I've been lying to myself my whole life. So the truth feels foreign to me. It feels like uncomfortable, almost provoking, like what? Threatening to like the version of myself that used to be.
Yeah. Great point. Because that is something that people say, like, am I not lying to myself? Like, it feels like, this doesn't feel true. It's like, well, we've been doing that, we have been doing that. It's like, okay, well, doesn't it feel like I'm just brainwashing myself? Like I'm just programming myself? Well, we're already programmed.
Yep. That's exactly what we're doing.
Yeah.
It's like, but we're choosing to take the pen and write our own program instead of just allowing the imprint of what everyone else is like pushed into you. Because like a seed, knows what it's going to be whenever it grows. It has everything it needs inside that seed. It just needs a nurturing environment for it to bloom. But if you have an environment that's telling it, it's like a rose, and you have an environment saying, be a sunflower. You're an ugly daffodil. You just don't look the same as all the other like lilies or whatever, right? It's like, it's not supposed to be that. It is what it is, and it's just supposed to be in a environment of warmth and hydration, and then it grows into what it's supposed to be.
Absolutely. You know, I agree, like 100%. Yeah. Yeah. That you actually, when you said it's just supposed to be what it is, that reminded me of another thing you put up on your story. There was a picture of like a wall and like a window and then another wall. And there were these jumbled up words, but if you looked at it from a different perspective, you know, if you shifted to a different angle, it said facing reality as it is, you know? So what does it mean to you to face reality as it is? Because that was a big theme for us, you know, to sit with it as it
Just allowing things to be what they're supposed to be, like what they are,
is.
allowing what is to be. Like, I initially, whenever I learned the practice of Vipassana meditation, the way that it was explained to me, because that is my main practice. I love breath work, but breath work I kind of do like out and about as I go around my day. Meditation, like I'll have a sit down session. It was explained to me like you're just watching. You're just watching feelings and thoughts. You're watching them come up, watching them linger, and then watching them fade away just on their own without trying to make them like be a certain way, or like trying to carry them or change them, like morph them to what you think they're supposed to be.
Mm-hmm.
You just allow it to be what it is.
Yeah.
And I feel like that it's hard to put it into words, but it's more of a feeling of allowing, because you can feel like based on the words that you're speaking to yourself and based on how you feel when you walk into a job, you can feel if it's nurturing for you or if it makes you feel like contracting, if it makes you feel tense, versus if it makes you feel like, oh, if it makes you feel like more expanded and curious and open. You can feel the difference.
Yeah. Yeah. And even, you know, when you have those moments of curiosity, or when you have those moments of caution, or when you have those moments of butterflies, or when you have those moments of like feeling burdened, to allow all that to be as it is, you know?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. That's powerful.
Yeah. One time maybe I was talking with a friend. No, I read it in the book. And the author wrote, some people say it is what it is, but that's like still the mind trying to define what is. It just is.
So we're trying to wrap our head around it, but there's no need.
Yeah, we try and like define something or come to a conclusion about what we think about this, but we don't know.
Nobody.
No.
Wow.
Yeah.
Wow. Wow. So there's no need to intellectualize. There's no need to like conceptualize. There's no need to try and, you know, rationalize about something that it doesn't need that. It doesn't require.
It doesn't require. Sometimes that's part of what is.
Meaning what exactly?
like like you're right, there's no need for it. And it happens.
That could be it right there. Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. There's absolutely no need for it. And it happens. Yeah. It happens.
Yeah, like just how when feelings come, you just let it be, and you can watch them, and like you can learn how to create a little space for yourself so that you can watch them without becoming like drowned in them. I feel like thoughts is kind of the same thing. As you practice, you can create just a little space, like a little buffer. So when the mind is intellectualizing and defining things and like measuring everything and comparing, you can just watch it do that too. It's like, that's what the mind does.
Yeah, yeah. So do you feel like, Victoria, was that what Vipassana did for you? Like who was Victoria before Vipassana? How did your mind work then?
I believed the stories that I told myself. Like, my mind would make up a story about like what this means, and then I would believe it. But now I'm kind of like, I don't know. We'll see. Like, let's just watch and see what happens, you know?
Let's let it marinate.
Yeah, yeah. Let me take some space, because I feel a lot less burdened. I love the analogy of like in meditation. Imagine you're like, you know those airport conveyor belts where it's like luggage is going by. So you're standing in front of the conveyor belt, and luggage is going by, and the luggage is your thoughts, your feelings. All of it's just kind of passing by on its own. It doesn't necessarily belong to you, but you could pick it up, right? And so what most of us do is we like pick up all these things, like this is mine, this is mine, this is what I think about this, like, and we create these like solidified, like we'll compartmentalize emotions that we don't want to feel. We won't let them pass by. We don't want anyone else to see them, right? So we just stuff them away. Or certain thoughts that we like really hold on to, like, oh, I really hope this happens, I really hope this happens, like why aren't things like this? It's like we're picking up all this luggage, and then we have all this burden of who we think we are and what we're supposed to be doing, what we're going to have to do in the future. It's like so much.
When we could easily just put that down.
Yeah, just watch it go by.
Yeah, just yeah. Yeah. Wow. I've never heard that analogy before, but it makes complete sense. You know? Picking up everybody else's luggage, picking up their carry-ons, you know?
Yeah. Yeah. And it's not even necessarily like belongs to someone else. We might go around with people who have like picked up the same things. If we were conditioned by parents where it's like, this is how we see the world, then we'll probably be under that impression. And so, we create our own story. But it's more just these thoughts and these feelings, it's frequency based, right? And our frequency goes up and down, like the heart rate monitor, up and down, up and down. So whenever we're up here, we'll resonate with certain thoughts, and they'll come through, but it's not like our thoughts or someone else's thoughts. It's just thoughts of that frequency. And so as your frequency moves, like the thoughts will move, the feelings will move. It just happens on its own because we're alive. We are life.
Yeah.
We're moving.
Yeah. 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 Agreed, Frequency based. Frequency based. I can see that you're attracted.
No, not to me.
It's the frequency. So, not to get, a whole bunch of butterflies in the moment, but when you were talking about earlier, when you had the courage to get up on stage and express, the way you know best, would you have maybe like one poem on hand or anything on your hand right now that you might share with us?
Yeah.
Yeah?
Yeah. Sure. Yeah. Would you like me to say that one or a different one?
Anyone that you feel called in this moment, like anything that you feel called to share, we'd be honored to hear it.
Yeah, I'll say that one just for the people on the live who have been watching that haven't heard it, maybe.
Okay.
But I will say, before I say that one, on the 21st, I have a poetry, or it's not just poetry, it's poetry and passage, a book that I'm releasing. There will also be audio versions for a selection of the poems on YouTube for free. So
Woo!
check. But okay, so this poem is titled Let's Dance. I see that you're attracted. No, not to me. It's the frequency. The radio station I attune to called Equanimity. It only plays one song titled Come As You Are, Be Free. There's no words, no rhythm, no rhyme, so any way you'd like to dance, it's fine by me. It even feels like it's meant to be. When I follow and then you lead, there's no tempo, but we're so steady. And when, not if, we get out of sync, we'll dance with that too, because it's what's happening. We may go separate ways for infinity, but if it so happens that again we meet, let's dance to that same old song titled Come As You Are, Be Free.
Beautiful. Beautiful. Thank you. Thank you.
Got the heart flowing.
Yeah. Got the vibes going. Mm-hmm. You already know it.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, I know everyone is waiting for that book. They waiting on it. We like, oh, it's time.
Oh my gosh, I'm so excited to share it. I'm so excited to share it and just, you know, you're one of the people that inspired me and showed me how important it is to tell our story, and like, not only for how it helps other people, but for how it helps ourselves, of kind of like putting things into perspective, what we went through and the gifts that were there for us. That's why I love the way that you interview people and the way that you ask questions, because you know how to ask questions that empower them whenever they speak the answers. And that's just so beautiful.
Wow, blessing. I received that. Thank you for that feedback, you know.
Yeah.
Thank you. Yeah. Yeah, you know. I forgot who told me, but someone told me like questions are the answer. You know? I believed him. Yeah.
Right. Right as you said, questions are the answer. Miss Coco Leche asked.
You want to go first?
You got it.
Okay.
You go first.
So, Coco Leche. Shout out to Coco Leche. Y'all have both written books. How did you start the book? That is. So, you know, I forgot exactly what. Actually, no, I remember now. There was a gentleman, and back then he was going by the name of Eric Ho. He was an influencer on YouTube. He still is today, but he goes by the moniker Master Arkashana. Master Arkashana is his new moniker after he went up to the Himalayan mountains with the yogis and came down. His name is no longer Eric Ho, but he had a book and still has a book on Amazon called Set It and Forget It. And he talked to the audience when I went to visit him in San Diego. And he was just telling people how easy it was today. You know, it's never been easier. He was like, I wrote this book on a train, you know, on a train ride on my cell phone, you know? And we were all in the audience like, what, you know, how do we do this? How do we do that? And he was just like, you know, just do it, you know? Like there's like what we were saying, just be, you know, stop trying to think so much. Kind of like how Bruce Lee said, if you think too long about a thing, you'll never get it done, you know? So we were all in our heads trying to make sense of it, but he was letting us know that you have all that you need within you now. You know, not for lack of resources, but the resourcefulness to go ahead and share your story, to go ahead and express yourself, to go ahead and allow your testimony to teach somebody else or to reach somebody else. Allow the what you consider your mess in life to be a message that can lift somebody else up, to empower someone else. So you never have to wait to do that. You know, you can just go do it now. So we were like, okay. And I think maybe half of us were like, oh, okay, cool. The other half was like, oh, okay, yes. And then the other half was like, you know, like I was in that half. I was like, okay, okay, okay. And so I didn't do no talking, because this is what has happened to me. The more that I will talk about something that I'm going to do eventually, it's almost like the less inclined I am to actually do it. You know, that's just my personality is like I don't talk about things. I try to talk about things very, very small. Like I don't, you know, because it's almost like you're putting the energy ahead of itself, and you almost get those feel good feelings, like those chemicals of dopamine and serotonin and oxytocin, like start going off in your body, and you haven't actually done it yet, but you've said you're going to do it, but it's like your body feels like you've already done it. So it's like, well, it's already done, you know, versus like just going ahead and doing it and then telling people after you've done it. That's what I feel has been the best thing for me. So thank you for the question. Much love. Yeah. And yourself?
Powerful. Yeah, yeah. You know, for me, at least the way that I write is usually a title will come to me for poems and for This Is What Happened with the book. Like, I had this title for 2 years now. It was just kind of in the back of my mind. And so I just kind of like, I would feel into it. And then what I feel like really got me started is some of my poems, I shared it. I shared it like with people that I felt safe with, that I knew like would speak life into me and speak that confidence. Because for me, I knew I had something in me. I knew I wanted to say something, but I was just timid. Like I was a little scared. Like, what if it doesn't come out right? What if no one reads it? The what if, what if, what if? Um, so just sharing my voice a little bit, sharing my ideas with people that were safe, and they spoke life into me. Like, yeah, girl, like you have a book in you. You need to, like, people will need to read this, and like just affirming me. That's what I feel like really gave me the spark of like, all right, I'm gonna do it. I'm gonna do it. so, so yeah, it was just the timing was right. I was in a situation that really like inspired a lot to come out, and then that kind of brought everything to fruition. And I definitely agree. Like, it's never been easier. It's never been easier. It's so easy to publish a book now. So easy to get the like digitals of like how you want the cover to look and everything. So easy to get people to buy it. You just share it with your friends on your phone. You don't even have to like go anywhere, like talk to people really. It's never been easier.
Yeah. Yeah.
I think if if there's something inside of you that you feel like, oh, maybe I want to like bring this to life, whether it's writing or art or just any type of message that you may have, any type of expression, if that's inside of you, it's because people outside of you need it. They need to hear it from your perspective, because other people might say it, but they'll say it in a different way, in a different tone of voice, and it won't hit them the same. It won't go to their heart the way that your words will. So it's important to express.
Yes. Yes. Let's. Y'all hear this? Are y'all taking it out there? Are y'all hearing this? You heard it here first. Don't be afraid, you know? Shine your light. If you've been given something, you've been given that gift to give back, you know, for a reason. It's within you for a reason,
Yeah.
you know? So, yeah, I love that message. Thank you. Thank you for speaking.
I mean, it's no coincidence, like how we each have like our unique way of seeing things, how we each have our own desires. Like, it's there because it's for you and it's for others. Like, your desires were literally made for you, and your expression was literally made for everyone that gets to witness it.
Mm-hmm.
It's perfect.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I even love the analogy of like the banyan tree, or like just a small seed, you know?
Mm.
Small seed. You can plant a small seed and a huge tree will grow, right? But not just a huge tree, but fruit. And that fruit is like multiplying, you know? All sorts of fruit come from this one little seed that came from this giant tree that come from these little fruit, and each fruit has seeds of their own, you know?
Give me, give me that quote about the apple.
Oh man.
Give
Oh
it
man.
to us.
She,
Give it to us.
oh man, she said, "Give me that apple. Give me that apple." All right. So, and now this is this is what they say, right? The legends say that you can count exactly how many seeds are in one apple. You can cut open an apple, you can count every seed in that apple. But who among us can count the apples in one seed?
Mic drop. Mic drop.
Once I heard that, I was like, okay, I get it. You know, I get it. It's more than this. You know, it goes beyond. It goes beyond this. You throw a pebble in the pond, you see the ripple, but do you ever see the ripple stop?
Hmm.
Do you ever really see it stop when the stone drops? Do you see it stop?
Hmm.
You know, it keeps going.
Hmm.
Sure.
It goes on for infinity, yet always comes back to you.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Yeah. Yeah. These are like universal laws, for sure.
Yeah, our friend Tracy asked, "What does freedom look like for you?"
Oh, blessings. Go ahead, take it away.
Yeah, for me, freedom, similar to love, I feel like they go hand in hand. It's unconditional. True freedom to me is unconditional. There's no requirement or condition for me to be free other than allowing myself to be free.
Mm-hmm.
So, freedom to me is accepting what is. Because if you not only accept, but if you love like what is, whatever it is, then you're free because you love it.
Mm-hmm. Beautiful.
the,
Thank you for that question.
I
Go.
feel like the opposite, like the feeling of not being free, is whenever you're trying to like run from something or you feel like trapped by something
Mm-hmm.
because it's not. You think it should be different. You think things aren't the way that they're supposed to be.
Right.
But if you're willing to accept that all is well and like you are exactly where all that is has placed you to be experiencing and to be navigating, then you're free.
Yeah. So not trying to avoid or reject
Mm.
the way that they are, the way that it is, you know? That's freedom. Okay.
What do you think?
Yeah, the first thing that came to my mind, you know, my brother told me, he said the
Mm.
only way that we're free is for you to be you and for me to be me, you know?
Ooh.
And that goes along with the same message, you know, just allowing it to be what it is.
Say live and let live.
Hey, it's like it's the alley oop right here. Every time I throw it up, she dunks it. Each time, she
Oh my
dunks it.
god.
Oh man, yeah,
Hmm.
beautiful.
Hmm.
Victoria, thank you for making the time. You know, creating the space to come and just talk to us today. You know, and if we could end on one note, there was just one thing that I saw that really impacted me. It was something you put on a post where you talked about creating a new culture for future generations. Do you remember that? And I would just wanted to ask you, just how do you feel like you're doing that today, and why do you feel like that's important, for us to go away from like slave culture, or go away from modern culture, but to create a new culture for future generations? How do you feel?
Yeah. So the post that you're referring to, I speak that from my lens, from my opinion, like creating a new culture for future generations that is more harmonious and healthy to their being involves you nurturing yourself deeply, filling your own cup. And I just feel like, because if you're in survival mode, you're not able to create from a space of overflow. You're just trying to get by, and that can grow the heart very cold in a way, because you're just looking out for yourself in that space. Like you're just trying to survive. But in a space of overflow, taking care of yourself deeply, nurturing yourself, nourishing yourself, and not in just like rigid prescriptive ways of like meditation, eat right, like learning the specific things that nurture your uniqueness, which is like the things that you love, the things that you enjoy. Jerome, you love going on walks, you love having conversations like this, and I see you like, so that's what you do. You prioritize that. You make the time for those things because that's what fills up your cup. I feel like you're a role model of what that looks like. And so I feel like filling our own cup, connecting with people that are role models for us so we can see what it looks like, not in the sense of like that's what it's going to look like for me, but like that's the energy signature of someone in their uniqueness, someone in like embodying their magnificence, like why they're here. That fills our cup because we're getting that reflection of like what that's going to feel like for us the more that we align to that. And then also just something to consider, like physically, if you're a woman, all your children are living inside your body right now as eggs. So however you're treating your body, the thoughts that you're programming your cells with, the emotions that you overindulge with, that's your kids. You're programming your kids. Literally.
Wow.
So
Wow.
like taking care of yourself is taking care of, sometimes whenever I'm like in a make or break moment for something that where it's like I'm on the edge of like doing something, I said I would do it, like maybe I'm getting deeper into a fast, it's getting a little tricky, I'm like, all right, it's not for me anymore, it's for my children. My unborn kids and my unborn kids. That's
Wow.
like it can give you another sense of like why you're prioritizing yourself and your state of being. I feel like prioritizing the state of being. It's not really what you do, but why you do it, how you do it.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Wow. Wow. For the babies and the grandbabies.
Yeah.
Wow. Wow. I'm doing this for the kids. For the kids.
It's also like, whenever we're overflowing, whenever we've taken the time to give ourselves the things that maybe no one ever gave you as a child, or just the things that you were really craving, then you can overflow into other people, into your friends, into your community, into every person that you pass by and have a conversation with. They'll feel that energy of like overflow, of ease, of creation, of like an openness, and that is so powerful. It's just like planting seeds.
Mm-hmm.
And no one knows, who's to say how many apples be in those seeds.
Come on now. Come on. So, just like you said, Victoria, that that has a feeling more of going from surviving, to thriving,
Yeah.
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 Thank you. Thank you.
Thank you, Jerome.
We always learn something new with you, You always bringing something back to us.
You know how to pull the best out of people. You really do.
and it's a dance too. You know, we do it together. It takes two to tango, as they say.
Hey,
So
let's dance.
yeah, come on. Yo, she's 3 for 3 right now, y'all. She's 3 for 3. Come on. Yo, this is the whole vibe. Thank you.
Thank you for inviting me. Thank you for this space and just the gifts you share, the light you shine. I appreciate it so much, Jerome.
Blessings. Blessings. It's reciprocal, you know. We'll do it again, I'm sure. You know.
Sure.
I'm sure. Well, we're looking forward to your book. We're looking forward to more. And let's continue to explore, you know?
Yeah.
Yeah.
We shall. Yeah. Thank you so much and have a beautiful day. Thank you everyone for watching. Thank you everyone in the replays. Wishing y'all all a beautiful day as well, or night or morning, whatever time zone you're in.
All right. Take care. Bye.